The Industrial Revolution, that one time in history when humanity decided, screw nature, I want stuff. And by God, we did it. We have so much stuff. Best decision ever made. Now I have to be honest, I do love medieval fantasies. I'm not sure why, I just love watching them for some reason. However, when I see someone who can do this, I always think to myself, lock that man in a sweatshop so we can utilize his talents and make 20% more socks. Obviously, it's the logical thing to think. I feel as if I can't escape my capitalist urges. Luckily for me, we have Realms of Exether, a Victorian 3 mod based in a classic fantasy setting where people decided we just don't have enough socks. I also brought Better Politics Lite because I love the voting system instead of the click wait system. Now of course, there are so many choices. We can play as fantasy elves, fantasy British, fantasy Chinese. However, today we shall play as fantasy Australians. Welcome to Payless. Can we manage to mobilize the mages of our nation and conquer the outback? Or will we suffer defeat at the hands of the fantasy emus and never invent socks? Let's find out. Now first, the ranking. As you can clearly see, the number 1 guy has 3 times our GDP and twice our population. And these are the power blocks of all the great powers. I don't care about any of them, they can stay away and mind their own business. Unfortunately, the evil Fellowship of Man is on our doorstep via the South Sea Company, and they possess 6 boats, which is 6 more boats than the real historical South Sea Company. Remember guys, as proud dragons, we have access to draconic heritage, which gives us prestige, a lot more gold from mining, and of course, we spit in the face of interest rates. Classic dragons. Society-wise, the vast majority of our population is fully accepted purple dragons, not to be mistaken with dragons of other skin colors. And of course, we have a small population of exploitable labor, my favorite type of labor. Luckily for us, there's plenty of them in the outback. And we have a pretty good legal base to kickstart capitalism. Of course, we are ruled by our king, Sogomon Agadzhanian. It's time to open the border. Remember guys, the more labor we have, the cheaper it gets. It doesn't seem that it's going to pass the dragon stag, but that's nothing a little bit of lobbying can't fix. Now of course, the research has been greatly expanded, but we still need to start by discovering socks. Remember guys, we can also utilize our mages so they can use their magical powers and create more chairs. My favorite way of using mages. Of course, we can also use them to grow more food and other consumer items. We also have access to the iron fish, which is a fish that gives us iron. That's a pretty cool fish. Remember guys, regardless of all the magical tools your economy utilizes, nothing can substitute cheap labor. Let's go get some. Speaking of magic, we also have access to Justice and Golem, which are the Arcana cards we can use. They're actually pretty good. For now, we shall get Harmonious Progress, so we can increase our magic industry's throughput. I mean, the Golem ones are pretty good as well, but for now, I want to siphon more money into the pockets of the mages, so we can give them some more political strength. We can also get an Adventurer. They're quite expensive. Oh my god, he took all of my gold reserves. It's probably a good time to mention, I have no idea what they actually do, but hopefully it's worth it. Alright, the Dragon Stag has decided, let the border be open. We're also going to get colonial exploitation. There's quite a lot of uncolonized land everywhere. Welcome to Payless. Cheap labor? You can call it pay less, because that's what you're gonna be getting. Of course, we're going to need more. I can't destroy the environment with a population of 8 million. Are we doing capitalism or what? Look at this, Veil Integrity. This is practically the planet's health bar. The lower it gets, the more negative penalties everyone on the planet will experience. I'm not sure it's fully implemented just yet, but by magic and capitalism, we're gonna test its limits. It's time for us to continue our expansion to the north. Do not ask me what lies to our south. Trust me, you don't want to know. Oh boy, it's colonializing time, but we're not just gonna be satisfied with the outback. We're also going to colonize this big old island, which has one of the most valuable resources on the planet, Silk. We just have to build ports first. Alright, may the expansion continue. Also, as a proud dragon, I completely reject the very concept of charity. That's why we're going to have mutagenic trials, which is essentially the mage healthcare system. I mean, think about it, guys. If we allow these dangerous ideas to spread among the populace, soon they will start demanding stuff. It goes against my natural talents of dragging my grubby little hands all over other people's stuff. I mean, that's just classic politicianing. What the heck? The Danubian Empire demands I become their protectorate. I mean, they are the second great power, but I don't care. You can't have my stuff. Luckily for us, Vairia are guaranteeing our independence, and with their 100 battalions, we can definitely hold them back. Crap! Serayun, the third great power, joined against us. But that doesn't matter, because my mighty dragon riflemen are ready to give their lives. No, I'm not gonna mobilize the mages. They're too busy making chairs. Jesus, talk about a slight disadvantage. But that's fine, because my allies will soon arrive and will turn this war around. Alright, mutagenic trials. Now, the healthcare is managed by alchemists and surgeons using potions and mutagens to achieve miracle cures, while the poor often serve as test subjects. The wealthy reap the benefit with minimum cost to the state. So much better than charity. And here come my allies. To be honest, I don't think that's enough. Alright, that's enough. They keep invading my lands and breaking my stuff. We might be defeated now, but once capitalism kicks into high gear, we shall have our revenge. Until then, I guess we're going to be part of the Fellowship of Man, which is a cultural union, the unique power block of this mod. Honestly, it's not all that amazing. Also, I really hate to be that guy, but I feel a little bit unrepresented. Also, do I really have to sit all the way in the back during these meetings? It feels a little bit discriminatory. Anyway, we shall utilize our position in this massive market so we can make as much profit as we can. Also, we're going to lobby foreign governments to support our independence, and we already have one supporter, Luna Slazlazu. Hey, wait a minute, they're just some native human tribe in Australia. I mean, I accept their sacrifice, but we're definitely going to lobby the bigger, stronger countries as well. In the meantime, homesteading, so we can shuffle our labor force efficiently. I mean, what's the point of subjugating these savages if we can't exploit them in the capital? I'm not gonna move to the rural areas. It's where the poor people live. Gross. Remember, guys, if there isn't a ghetto in your capital city which houses exploitable labor, you're not very good at capitalism. Oh no, it seems that vertically squished native Australians are fighting the horizontally squished good guy native Australians. We can't just sit here and watch. We have to capitalize on this situation and exploit it to our benefit. That's how you know we are the good guys. Also, we have a unique decision. Examine ancient draconic murals. I'll click it. And we have successfully expanded. Secrets of the draconic murals. There you go, guys. We're making more money. And we also have a brand new journal entry. After exploring all of the ancient dragon tombs, we're gonna get even more money. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this grave robbing? Do you truly believe that our noble draconic society would allow profits to go unexploited? Just like all the miserable... Hey, what are these snake people? Gross. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. The squishy humies are actually snakies. I know they call themselves in a different way, but I'm not gonna call them this. I'm too scared. And we have a brand new king, Hike Agatskhanian, an 8-year-old bureaucratic, jingoistic child. My favorite type of child. We're also going to grant investment rights to all the great powers. Remember, if they have financial interests in our country, they will be more willing to support our independence and guarantee our security. Countries that need their security guaranteed should definitely take note. Okay, well, it doesn't work every time, but that's fine, because foreign investment aligns perfectly with our exploitative capitalist society. Everybody wins, unless you're poor. But that's fine. I'm not poor. And if you are, we have homesteading. You're welcome to the brand new city slums. Until I get bored of them and decide to bulldoze them. But until then, you're welcome. And it's time for a tectonic shift in our governance. That's right, we're going to have a proper majocracy. Wait a minute, there's a plutocracy. A government ruled by a cabal of rich business moguls. You know what? Maybe next time. Oh boy, now we can use magical tools, so we can use less laborers and do more damage to the environment. That's exactly what our economy needs right now. Here come the absolutists trying to save their pathetic monarchy, which would never work because the king is nothing but a pathetic child who has to obey the dragon stag no matter what. Now, the government is ruled by a circle of mages and their pursuit of arcane knowledge. The head of state is normally the most powerful spellcaster in the nation, selected by merit, status, or birth. Now, we are ruled by our archmage, Hayak Agatskhanian, who definitely earned his place through merit. It's not just authoritarian corruption, promise. But a civil war is still looming, so we're going to have to make some concessions, such as enacting appointed bureaucrats. Also, we have to attack our neighbors, Luna/Natsu, because they're attempting to unify Snakostan, which is their version of Germany. As you're all aware, snakes have two penises, and even though there is no proof that Snakos also possess two penises, do you really want to risk it? I mean, think about it. How can your average purple dragon compete with two penises? It's unrealistic. We must act now, while we still have the chance. Oh no, the romantic states are revolting against our bestest friend, Arador. Now this next thing might seem as a blatant betrayal. However, I am merely securing our country's financial interests. And of course, the most logical question, is money the most important thing? Yes. Are you new here? To be fair, the international community seems to disagree, but I don't care. $700 is $700, and it's time for appointed bureaucrats. I feel like the petite bourgeoisie is getting too influential, so we're going to enact a national police force. Also, it seems that the international support towards Arador doesn't include soldiers. Atmospheric engines, oh my god, it's time for my favorite magic trick of burning coal and transforming it into more iron and other mineable goods. Remember guys, blatant profitism is a perfectly acceptable and respectable foreign policy. And of course, I cannot stand for this blatant oppression against our people and market by the evil Denobanabanium Empire. I demand independence, and I'm also taking the South Sea Company with us as interest. Wait a minute, the Danubian Empire isn't willing to protect them. They back down. Wait, what? They are now Palas New Dominia, and they are our vassal. Wait a minute, can I just take pieces from the Empire completely unopposed? Well, screw independence, I want stuff. National police and construction sectors will definitely help us in that regard. Remember guys, mercantilism is for losers, and the Crimson Corsairs shall be our next vassals. Wait a minute, why did I lose the war goal? They just gave up. Oh no, the Danubian Empire gave them their independence, so I don't get them. What a bunch of losers. I bet they also have mercantilism. Oh crap, I don't think they liked my mercantilism comment. How dare you demand taxes? It goes against my religious beliefs. I would never accept this. Well, here they come. Also, what better way to celebrate our freedom than by enacting free trade? Unlike these mercantilist losers. Oh crap, they landed. Alright, we managed to push them back and contain them on one of our islands. We can definitely hold this. Okay, this might look bad, but you guys should really stop asking me to let the mages join the front. They're too busy making chairs. And they surrendered. Haha, stupid mercantilist losers. That's right, it's time for us to taste freedom. Alright, well, it tastes a little bit like this. But fear not, the free market will sort itself out at some point. Also, we're swimming in money. Remember guys, backstabbing is profitable. Also, we have a huge investment pool. We desperately need more construction. We can also use magical tools to enhance our agriculture. Remember guys, destroying the environment is a bonus. We're also going to enact laissez-faire. Also, the Snako people are revolting. Gross. Finally, railroads, which means we can focus on inventing bullets. Oh my god, my financial interest interests, I mean bestest friends, are having trouble, I'll help you for security guarantees, obviously. Finally, laissez-faire. And it seems that the Snako people might have two penises, but they don't have the balls to revolt. Classic Snako people. Still, we're going to enact classic racism. That'll shut them up. Listen guys, I get it. They're people too. I just wanna exploit them. Also, hayak! Agatskhanian definitely agrees. Oh crap, we're losing my money. But that's alright, because we're going to increase the magical bureaucracy and the healthcare system, which will give more political strength to the mages, so we can finally create a respectable amount of chairs. Obviously, it's what they're good for. Crap, I capitulated. Hang in there, Arador. I'm rooting for you. The same way I would root for a sports team if I bet a lot of money on them winning, which I did. So you definitely have to win now. And it seems that the private investors are also betting on the same horse, which makes them too big to fail. Surely. Vazmit Peaks are offering a defensive pact. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can always use more friends. It's what friends are for. Wait a minute, they have a trade league and they're willing to accept us as soon as they have the leverage. We're definitely going to join them at our earliest convenience. Hey, wait a minute, good guy Arador managed to win. See that guys? Gambling is good for your long-term financial stability, obviously. Finally, racial segregation. Okay, I know this sounds bad, but realistically, this is how our society looks like. It literally can't get any worse. Also, I just noticed that our magical focus is traditional precedent, which lowers the mortality. However, we're going to change it to arcane learning so we can get more innovation. Honestly, we're lagging behind on the research. And we upgraded our magical bureaucracy, which will allow us to get another Arcana card. This time we're going to choose Scenic Landscape, so we can finally get some immigrants. Tyrio is offering a defensive pact. At this point, why not? Finally, we can perform magical experiments without restrictions or regulations. We also need secularism for all the ungodly experiments. Alright, water tube boilers, which is a great place to put all of these religious blokes who are getting massive support. Draconic Jesus. I'm kidding. The boilers are entirely made for making more chairs and to help the children mine more coal. For all the religious blokes, I have political suppression, which will definitely lower their numbers. The people's opposition, goddammit, it seems that things are getting to a boiling point. Because of the boilers, but politically as well. On the bright side, our society is getting more balanced and fair. Martial law? Oh my god, is this South Korea? Open fire, open fire. Oh my god, jack pumps, which means we can finally kickstart the oil economy, which is called God's Blood, because this mod is made by Americans. Obviously. Hey, wait a minute, we can use God's blood so we can increase our birth rate by 10%. How am I expected to get sexual with my girlfriend if there isn't an oil rig spraying oil all over us? It's impossible. These American mod developers definitely know what's up. Obviously I'm going to build a mutagen pool in every province. God knows we desperately need more people. Also, we're going to stop secularism because I don't feel like fighting a civil war. I feel like visiting some of these oil pools everyone keeps talking about. Instead, we're going to have freedom of conscience. Because I'm not going to listen to these evil dragon priests. They keep telling me stuff like invade the Devil's Exile so we can purge the planet of these red-skinned monsters. Foolish. I'm going to invade the Devil's Exile for money. We just need to build boats first. Alright, freedom of conscience. And there you go. Now they can shut up about all the inhumane experiments. Looking at the dragon stack, the only real obstacle for proper chair manufacturing is the petite bourgeoisie. And we're going to take a whole lot of influence from them by going back to star-branded bureaucrats. Everyone's favorite bureaucrats. Alright, we landed. Now all we have to do is shove hundreds of thousands of dragons and their heavy equipment into a poorly supplied position using insufficient amount of boats. Classic dragon warfare. Finally, we can use nitroglycerin, which isn't good for your health, but by God, is it good for the children and their coal quotas. Wait a minute, we can actually use oil oil to increase the cow production. Obviously, we're going to spray the cows with oil and they will immediately get sexual with each other. I have no idea how the mages figured that out, but I'm glad they're on our side. And now we're going to demolish the former South Sea Company, for I have great plans to develop the land. That's right, we're going to build oil pools everywhere. And of course, if anyone's wondering, the humans are at the very bottom of our society, as they should be. Alright, you stinking petite bourgeoisie, get out of my bureaucracy. Finally, the mages are the most powerful group, led by a mad scientist. Which means I have no choice, we have to enact state media, because everyone has to hear the government's narrative. Oh no, the dirty Snakies are rebelling! How dare you claim draconic heritage? Open fire! Open fire! Oh my god, I can't believe it! And after I generously sprayed them with copious amounts of oil, this is the gratitude I get? What a bunch of evil terrorists! Everyone should definitely hear my side of the story. We also need guaranteed liberties. The mages insist that some of the experiments shouldn't be performed on purple dragons, not to be mistaken with dragons of other skin colors. A financial crisis? Crap! My security guaranteed money expired and I didn't know this. I have to raise the taxes, but that's fine. Once we establish our brave new colonies, we'll be rich beyond your wildest imagination. Oh, never mind, we found gold right next to the government-sponsored oil pools. Alright, I hereby guarantee the liberties of all purple dragons. Okay, you know what? We should definitely extend the liberties to all dragons. It only makes sense. And it seems that we can't join other factions. We're just too powerful and they can't get enough leverage. Unfortunate. However, we are going to kickstart the airship economy. That's right, we're finally going to have an efficient transport network. For chairs, obviously. Oh, never mind, it's a little bit too soon for that. However, look at that potential pollution. Oh, we're definitely doing this. And now, Palas is a land free for all dragons. We definitely need secularism as well. We're also going to focus on psychic theory in order to be able to colonize the outback. We're also going to construct airship docks everywhere. That's right, boys, get your ticket. Cheap, fast, convenient, and safe. Palas Air. Way better than Boeing. Promise. As we are putting down an evil rebellion in the Devil's Exile, I also noticed that their neighbor, Liri Ontral, are a vassal to the Taudharl Empire. However, the Taudharl Empire doesn't exist on the map. So I'm going to liberate them, because it bothers me on a deep spiritual level. Wait a minute, is that a clear admission that I believe in the dragon gods? Oh god damn it. I'm sorry guys, but I cannot allow secularism. I'm clearly far too religious for that. Instead, we're going to flex our military might by occupying a foreign nation for no reason at all. Psychic theory? Alright, this definitely speeds up the colonization. Nationalism? Finally, the justification for our occupation. Remember guys, with great power comes the great ability to extort other countries for money, which isn't why we went to war. It was to liberate them. It's not just about money. These presumptions that we can't manage our economy are ridiculous. That's why we're going to form our very own trade league, Dragon Nuts, which we are going to drag all over the evil snakies. Obviously, it is our duty to bring them the magics of free trade and excellently crafted chairs. They cannot possibly resist. I also noticed that other stinking power blocks are also attempting to expand in Fantasy Australia. This cannot be allowed. We are not merely attacking another great power so we can earn our recognition and get rid of this massive interest rate. Draconic. Jesus. We simply have a moral obligation to liberate the native raccoon people, who are my favorite native type of people, crushing their armies, executing all the prisoners of war, looting their country, and forcing them to suffer months of brutal occupation until their warlords finally capitulate. It's not actually a big deal. I can take it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to get war reparations and other compensations as gratitude for their liberty and allowing them to join our benevolent trade league. Hey, wait a minute, that didn't earn our recognition. Oh, I get it. They're not big enough. That makes sense. We have to attack Serayun, defeating the fourth great power, will definitely prove our greatness. Also, I want to take over the local monkey people. It's not merely vengeance for that one time when they helped in our subjugation. Promise. We managed to kick them out, and their pathetic naval invasions have no chance to win because we are beating them at sea. Well, that was easy, and even though this didn't earn our recognition, we are the third most powerful power block. Soon, we'll have our vengeance against the evil Fellowship of Man. But first, we have to increase our military spending to 2% of GDP. The mutant community, unlucky recipients of mutagenic trials, have begun forming their own independent committees. We should encourage this behavior and incorporate mutants into our society. Who knows what kind of chairs can they create? Our society does seem a little bit unequal, but my God's a witness, we definitely need more chairs. To that end, we should allow all types of mages to enter our country. Also, we're going to vassalize one of these independent countries neighboring the Danubian Empire. That's right, Mist Burnie will be our equivalent of South Korea. They backed down. Nice. But do you know what isn't nice? The ethno-nationalists. I'm sorry guys, but we can't have immigrants. Breaking news. Our Archmage, Hike Agatskhanian, had an unfortunate accident involving chairs and copious amounts of oil, which means we have a brand new Archmage, Aram Atabekian, the mad scientist guy, which means we have to enact secularism, this time for real. Also, there is a brand new plan to cut government spending and increase taxes, so we can spend copious amounts of money unearthing the dragon tombs, which we can't currently do because we are in big debt. Copious amounts of payless taxpayer money later. Let's get to digging. And we managed to find 3 out of the 5 tombs, which means our revenge story has to wait until we commit aggressive military expansionism towards our peaceful neighbors, commit copious amounts of war crimes, expand the military spending to an unsustainable degree, commit grave robbing on a mass industrial scale, and then we can have our vengeance. Honestly, it's a classic mad scientist type of plan. Secularism failed. Crap. Alright then, we're going to get all the Trumps and hobos off the street and shove them into our workhouses. Are we doing capitalism as a side hustle or what? Speaking of capitalism, it is time to ramp up the pollution drastically. I did promise an airship economy, didn't I? Alright, the very first Dragon Tomb target is in the Devil's Exile. Also, I am proud to announce that finally we have the ultimate chair manufacturing methods. Look at all these chairs. Woo! Our economy is definitely going to explode now. Veo Effect 3, well there you go guys, we officially reached the final step of pollution, which isn't implemented just yet. But that's not going to stop us from taking down the last 24% of the remaining environment. Finally, get the pores to work. Also, I just noticed we can actually use airships in the military. We managed to land. Well, there you go guys, a clear proof that using airships to blow up the enemy is a great idea. And you guys always say stuff like use the mages or something, but that's crazy. Anyway, let's get to digging. There's only one tomb left, and I believe I know exactly where it is. I'm not sure why, it's just a gut feeling. You guys have to trust me on this one. Well, let's get to subjugating the natives. Also, attempt to attract more immigrants. They backed down. Alright, the nuts grow. Let's continue. Another one backs down. This will be easier than I thought. Another one backs down. It is time for us to declare a war of aggressive military expansionism based off rumors that we might potentially dig out the ruins of an ancient civilization from a bygone age, which has nothing to do with the manufacturing of chairs, gaining recognition for our great power status, or securing the lives and well-being of our citizens. Some of you thought I was mad, but by God, we did it. We managed to unearth the final tomb, and as a reward, we we get 20% more money from mining and 10% more authority for 9 years. Definitely worth it. Oh my god, our very first mass migration, and they're red dragons from really far away. Legislative failure, Dragon Balls. Good news, we managed to reach our military spending target, and if we take a look at the prestige ranking, we're definitely number 2. In order for us to gain our vengeance and destroy the environment, we're going to have to perform aggressive tax reform. What's this, guys? Are you suggesting we mobilize the mages and dismantle the number 1 guy using overwhelming military force? But that's crazy talk. We're not gonna mobilize the mages, they're too busy making chairs. Okay, I know we might not have enough bullets, but fear not, we have plenty of airships, which will allow us to push the Danubian douchebags out of Australia. Honestly, Big O Island is a bit of a mess, but still, I choose to transport the vast majority of my armies to my most northern colonies, so we can quickly reinforce Fantasy South Korea and roll over the Danubian douchebags in a surprise invasion from behind. Honestly, works every time. Alright, the tax reforms we desperately need to avoid bankruptcy. Realistically though, I don't think anyone is coming to stop us. And we actually took their capital. Alright boys, it's time to launch all of our remaining airships at the civilians. Is this a proper revenge story or what? And of course, this great victory managed to earn our recognition as the number 1 great power. No one can possibly compete. Of course, we managed to drag our nuts all over the world. Now I would end it here. However, the environment, it's on its very last legs, and I can't possibly live with myself. So yeah, give me a minute and I'll tell you exactly what happens when you reach 0%. Oh no, it just goes back up. That's probably because it's not fully implemented just yet. But remember guys, the great purple dragons shouldn't be mistaken with dragons of other skin colors. Until next time.